Alright guys, welcome to the video. So in this video I'm going to be going over some stuff from my recent training clips, recent training day. I hit a 10x3 with 355 pounds on squats, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping, like when the last time was that I posted a 10x3 on my squats, but in terms of the 10x3 itself, it's progressing very well, guys. You guys are going to see. But by the time it was like 10th set, 355 was still an RPE of I think was about like 5.5. It was really easy. But I'm just gonna kind of let that play. So you guys are gonna be seeing the squats. What I want to talk about in this video was I actually want to sort of give a little bit of sort of information, like some anecdotal information from my point of view, things that I think have helped me a lot in this training cycle. And sort of like just give you guys that information, and you know, you guys can give me some feedback, tell me what you think. But I think the number one thing that I have to say that I've learned about training from this training cycle so far, based on how it's going and just how it's been affecting my training, is that I think the number one thing that I realized for what helps me progress the most, and what I think has been helping the people I know that I've been programming progress the most, has been working very submaximal RPEs. I mean, I always told myself, guys, that submaximal RPEs were like the way, and like I thought that 7s and 8s were great, and they are. But what I've really come to realize, guys, is that the RPE range where I'm seeing the most progress happening is 5 to 7.5. And I go as low as 5. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, so like looking at like the progress I've made when I first started this, for instance, this training cycle. So let's go back to like the first time I was doing a 10x3. I can very clearly tell you guys that I remember doing that 10x3. I tried doing a 355 at the time for the first part of the 10x3. I got maybe 4 sets deep, and by the 5th set I was unable to use 355. It just was not gonna happen. And then, you know, fast forward, you know, basically what, like 2.5 months, something like that, and now, guys, I'm using 355, and it is fucking cake. And like, what I basically did, guys, is I bumped down that original 10x3 to 335, which was around RP 6.5 to 7 when I first started. Waited till that was around RP 5, and then basically every single time that when I was doing a 10x3, if the weight by the last set was below RPE 6, I moved up the weight 5 pounds. I'm micro-loading the shit out of it. So I moved up the weight only 5 pounds the next session, which would be 2 weeks later, because I would have stuff in between, right? Because I only do a 10x3 once every 2 weeks for each lift. Well, not exactly for each lift. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but regardless, right? So the sessions are spaced out every 2 weeks. So I would also be stronger, you know, in a small way at least, by the time I'd be going to that 10x3, and I'd add 5 more pounds. And I was noticing that my rate of progression has literally been outpacing the way that I can add weight. So I've been adding 5 pounds almost every single session now that I do a 10x3. And I've actually had sessions where the 10x3 that I did previously was even lighter. At least it felt lighter than the 10x3 that I did that session. So before this session, I did 350 for a 10x3 basically around 2 weeks beforehand, right? And so with this one, when I went into it, I wasn't even feeling that great, to be honest with you guys. Like, this was like after a long day at the office and pretty tired, you know, pretty spent, you know what I'm saying? And I still was like, you know, I was warming up. I was like, I might as well put on 355, guys, and it was really easy. Like I'm sure you guys are seeing the sets right now. I'm so happy with the way the weight's moving. I'm actually maxing out soon, guys, for both all my lifts, so squat, bench, deadlift, and I really am excited to see what I can bring to you guys. That's going to be in a separate video, obviously, but like, I just feel like so much progress has been made by focusing on technique, focusing on like just like my cues, focusing on actually doing the squat correctly in this building phase. Because when I'm peaking and everything, and I'm actually like getting ready for the meet. Obviously I'm going to be using higher RPEs and heavier weight, but the thing is that I've come to realize is that if I'm using too heavy weight right now and I'm building up bad habits, then when I go to peak, those bad habits are just gonna like propagate so badly. So what I'm focusing really hard on right now is to work on the relatively manageable RPEs, work in that range, and make sure that while I'm in that range, my form is the best that I can keep it. Try my best to follow my cues down to the point and make sure that my technique is as clean as it can be. And by doing that, I've noticed the most amount of progress. I feel my form itself has progressed a lot more in really subtle ways. And a lot of issues that I was having before, I don't feel like they're issues anymore. And it even shows because when I do my singles, which happen every 2 weeks also, I'll actually put it in right now, but I hit 430 for a single, and it was like RPE 8, guys. And 430 at RPE 8 that is so much progress, because my best at nationals was 435, and that was like a 9.5, guys. So like 430 at an RPE of 8 is just, that's phenomenal in my opinion, in terms of the amount of progress that doing this volume is carrying over to that single. So that's more or less, that's like the #1 thing that I feel like I really want to share, guys. Working with lower RPEs, working in a more conservative range, because building up with relatively good technique and building up in this volume phase with lower RPEs, I feel like it's building me better. Like I feel like my squat, by it's like basically like if you want to do something right, if you want to get good at something, you have to keep practicing it over and over again, and you have to use the best technique you can, so that essentially when the big day comes and you go for that big attempt on squat or whatever, when you have that heavy weight on your back, you don't already have the bad tendency to, let's say, if you have knee caving. I've been working on that really hard on this training cycle, and I have to say that my knee caving has almost disappeared. It's still a thing, it happens sometimes, but it is so much better than what it was before. I'm actually being able to actively push out the sides of my feet and my heels, and I don't feel like I'm collapsing through the center. And I'm only able to do that because I'm focusing on using light enough weight where I can focus on technique also. That's more or less it, guys. I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys, give a little bit of anecdotal info, see what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Want to hear what you guys have been doing on your training cycles too. And other than that, guys, that's all for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and peace out.